Hi guys, I think I'm live now. If you can see me and if you can hear me, please do let us know in the chat. We'll start the session very shortly once everything seems to be okay. We have close to 50 people who are watching the stream live. Please do like the stream, guys. As many of you know, CAT is just hardly in another 72 hours. I think 72 hours later, all of you would have finished your examination. You would be in a much more relaxed state of mind. Right now, you might be slightly nervous, which is completely understandable. But one way to look at it is 72 hours later, you should be in a happy mood. You should not be in any mood which you should not have any regrets. So what are the things that you should keep in mind? These are basically some of the last tips that I want to share with you. We'll do another stream tomorrow where I'll tell you what your mindset should be on the day of the examination. But today we'll be looking at what are the things that you should keep in mind. These are basically the last minute tips. So let me go through the tips that I wanted to share, and after that I'm going to look at some of the questions that you have asked. One of the first things I would tell you is this is true for everyone. If you have time, especially on say Saturday or Friday, where I don't expect you to either take a mock or put in a lot of intensive effort, try to see if you can actually go and visit the center, the test center, so that you know exactly where the center is. Secondly, keep the mode of transport to be finalized. Try not to rely on public transport unless it is a transport which is extremely reliable, like say the Delhi Metro, where you know that it will always be there. This is where you're going to get down. This is where you will probably walk, and all of those things. Maybe try not to rely on cab service because cabs can get cancelled. Sometimes there might be a lot of surge. Sometimes cabs might not be available. So you don't want any additional stress before the examination in your mind, because what I've noticed is that even if you feel that stress which is unrelated to the examination, say half an hour before the examination or 1 hour before the examination, it will definitely have an impact on the way you actually perform in the examination. Because I feel that your mental capacity is limited. Everybody's mental capacity is limited. So if you feel nervous or if you think about these kind of unnecessary things, that will definitely have an impact on how you perform on the day of the examination. On the day of the examination, your mind should be as relaxed as possible. It should not have any distractions. It should be fairly peaceful and it should be very focused on doing well in the examination. So try to keep your modes of transport to be completely finalized. You should know exactly, if possible, if you have a car or if your friend has a car or something which is completely in your control, that I would recommend. Or if you have a bike or if your friend has a bike, something like that where everything is in your hands. That is the first thing. So go and visit the center 1 day before or 2 days before so that you know exactly what is the way to go there, what the center is, because you don't want to be stressed out on the day of the examination. You shouldn't feel that, okay, what happened? I landed up at a different examination center. Those kind of things shouldn't happen. The next thing is try to get some good sleep from at least today. Try to maintain a good regular sleep cycle. Don't try to study till 1 o'clock. Try to sleep, because on the day of the examination, you would want to have a good, well-rested night. So you don't want, and if your body is not used to the timetable, you will not be able to fall asleep on Saturday. So if say every day you are studying till 2 a.m. on Saturday, you are not going to sleep at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. That's not happening. So try to sleep at least from today onwards. Try to sleep early. Try to sleep at say 10 or 11 p.m. and slowly you will get used to it. That is the second thing. Try to rest as much as possible. Don't work out a lot on Friday or Saturday. Maybe just go for long walks. Walks are always good. They will help you relax your mind. Try to keep your calm. Just don't fall sick. So try not to eat outside in the last 2-3 days. Try to have home cooked food. Try not to drink any alcohol, because again, alcohol might affect your stomach, might affect your body, might affect your brain. You might have a hangover. It might waste some unnecessary time. So for the next 3-4 days, avoid all of these things. Try to minimize the exposure that you get for outside food. Finally, we have released a video also today which will tell you what are the things that you should carry, what are the checklist about the things that you should have and the things that you shouldn't carry. Watch that video carefully and try to have a bag, and in the bag pack everything that is needed, like your admit card, affix the photo on the admit card, all of those things. Try to do early on, because again, when you reach the examination center, you should not be nervous. You should not feel stressed out. You should have as little distractions as possible when you go to the examination center. There are some more tips that I want to give you, but before we go there, let me look at some of the questions that you might have asked. And guys, please do like the stream. We have close to 100 people who are watching this stream live, and we don't have a lot of likes, so please do like the stream. Suhil Kohli saying, hi sir, I've been a Cracku student since March. I just want to say thank you. You and ma'am have helped me a ton because looking back, this is my first time in my life where I actually worked for something. Thank you. That's a very nice feeling, Suhil. Whenever you feel that, whenever I feel that I work towards something wherein I feel that I put in a lot of effort, that gives me a lot of satisfaction because like in Bhagavad Gita, you should take joy in actually performing action. The results are not in your hands, so you should not worry about the result, but you should take joy and you should take pride in the effort that you're putting in. So if you feel that you have worked towards something, if you feel that you have put in a lot of effort, that should make you feel very good. Mainak Dhar is saying, sir, your daily targets really helped me a lot. Hope to score good. Thanks a lot, Mainak. I hope you put in the effort. Make the best use of the last 2-3 days. Don't get stressed out. Just try to get a good end to your preparation and give your best on the day of the examination. Akarshit Srivastava is saying, sir, this is my second CAT attempt. In case it doesn't go well, should I focus mostly on omits? Right now, again, I don't want you to have any distractions. Like, you might understand what I'm trying to say. I have a particular theme in mind that in the last 3-4 days, you should not get distracted. Your mind, in general, human mind tends to like fly around. It thinks of unnecessary things, which will just waste your time and it will waste your brain's energy. So right now, focus only on CAT and be optimistic. Keep telling yourself that you're going to do well in CAT. Now, what to do next, whether you do well in CAT, whether you don't do well in CAT, what to do if you do well in CAT, what to do if you don't do well in CAT, all of those things you can think about and you can finalize 72 hours later. Right now, the focus only should be on how to maximize your chances of doing well in CAT. And the only way that will happen is if you have no distractions, just think about the examination in a pleasant way and motivate yourself. Tell yourself, actually tell yourself loudly that you're going to do well in the examination. Tell yourself that it will be an examination which will go well for you. You're prepared well, you've worked hard, and you're going to do well. That is how you should motivate yourself. SHR is saying, sir, in 25 expected DILR sets, I solved the sets in approximately 20 minutes. Is it okay or should I need it in less time? If you're solving those sets in 20 minutes each, that is a good thing. Don't worry, because then it would mean that typically you'll be able to solve 2 sets on the day of the examination. Plus, you might get some theta questions correct. So you might get 11 to 12 questions correct out of 20 on the day of the examination, which will be a terrific score. So just ensure that you keep your composure on the day of the examination and do well. We have close to 88 people who are watching this stream live, guys. Please do like the stream. I want to get to at least 200 likes before the stream ends. Siddesh is saying we are missing the daily targets in this week. Yeah, because I wanted to give a chance to everyone to finish the daily targets that we have uploaded till now. And I also feel that in the last 1 week, the focus should be on revising. So I wanted people to maybe watch the videos. Like if you're really missing daily targets, I'll give you the revision videos, which are extremely good. Like I mentioned this earlier also, many people ask me what they should do on the last 2-3 days. What I would recommend you to do in the last 2-3 days is watch the revision videos by Siley. We have 4 videos, 2 videos in quant, complete quant revision part 1, complete quant revision part 2, 2 videos, excellent videos. They cover the entire revision of quant in 3 hours. The first video is for 2 hours and the second video is for 1 hour. In those 3 hours, you will revise the entire quant syllabus, which is very, very good. And you have 1 video in complete revision of LRDA, which I think is around 1.5 hours, and complete revision of verbal, which also is I think around 1.5 hours. Watch those 2 also, so that you feel you have completed the entire revision. And somebody who is scoring say around 70 to 80 percentile, if they watch that video, they will definitely gain at least 10 marks if they watch all of these 3 videos. This is for students who are scoring around say 70 to 80 percentile. So the increase will be tremendous and drastic. So make definitely good use of those videos. Joy Devi is saying, should we revise anymore on the D-Day or wait patiently for my third slot? Don't wait patiently because I again feel that waiting itself will be very tiring. Many people, when they're waiting for the third slot, they have unnecessary thoughts, they will have anxiety, they feel worried about how their slot will be. They'll keep receiving some bits of information from other slots. Some people will say verbal was very difficult, some people will say LRDA is extremely difficult. All of those things will just distract you. So I would recommend you to watch some revision videos or solve some previous paper questions. don't get tired out, but don't be idle. Because if you are idle, then your brain will not be idle. It will just keep thinking of unnecessary things which will not help you. Neil Vipul is saying, sir, scoring 70 to 78, still feeling that I might mess up on the day. Any tips? You should be more confident, and you will be more confident if you keep telling yourself that you are going to do well. Like the way I think about it is, your brain also is an organ. Okay, it's an organ of your body. Now, if you eat good food, you will not put on weight. You will be healthy. So whatever you are taking in will be reflected in your physical shape. Similarly, whatever you are thinking or whatever you are telling yourself is basically the input that you are giving to your brain. So if you give your brain good input, it will also be in a better shape. So that is the reason I would recommend you to keep thinking of positive things. Keep telling yourself that you are going to do well, because that is basically the input that you are giving your brain. And if you keep telling yourself positive things, your brain also will become more confident because it will trust you. But if you keep worrying about, okay, what will happen on this day, what will happen if say quant is very difficult, or what will happen if I mess up here, if I mess up there. If you have all of these unnecessary thoughts, then it is only going to dampen your confidence. So that is not helpful. If you have any doubts, please feel free to message in the chat. I'm trying to answer as many as I can. Vishal Das is saying, sir, Cracku mocks were really helpful. I learned a lot from your approach while solving the questions. Thanks a lot, Vishal. I get this feedback quite a lot. Many people find our mocks to be very, very useful. Many people also tell me that they found our video solutions to be extremely helpful. One of the feedback that I get is that I don't use any shortcuts. I solve most of the questions using concepts. And that is something that I believe in, because I feel that if your concepts are good, then you can solve most of the questions quite easily without wasting a lot of time. And shortcuts, I think, won't help you on the day of the examination, because you will not know which shortcut to use. You will at least never feel confident about using a shortcut. You will feel very confident if you know the concept well. So I always go from the basics. Whatever question is there, I try to solve using the concepts. Saket Patel is saying, should I use calculator for complex calculation? It depends on the kind of calculations. Yeah, I'll tell you the pros and the cons, and at the end of it, it is a judgment call. The pros are that you won't make any mistakes. You will not have any silly mistakes when you use a calculator, especially in questions which involve LRDI. There will be some questions which involve long tables, maybe some graphs, and you have to basically use the data that is given in simple data. You have to do some multiplications and some divisions, some percentages, all of it in a table to get to fill that entire table up. Sometimes it happens where it is a data interpretation question which will involve a lot of calculations. So those calculations will become much easier if you use a calculator. But using a calculator is time consuming. It is going to waste a lot of time. This I have noticed myself where I try to solve an LRDI set. It is a simple LRDI set, but involves a lot of calculations. So if you solve using the calculator, you will definitely get it correct, but it will waste a lot of time. If you solve without using a calculator, because in many cases it will be, you can approximate the values sometimes, and you can also do the additions manually. You can sometimes do even the multiplications manually, which probably sometimes you can do faster than actually typing in each of the digit in the calculations. But if you do it manually, there is always scope for error. And if you make one mistake, you might lose the entire LRDI set. If you enter it using the calculator, the chances of error decrease drastically. That is the reason for LRDI, at least I would recommend you to use the calculator. Try to do it in a fast way, because LRDI, the silly mistakes are very expensive. If you make one silly mistake and you lose an entire set, you will feel very bad at the end of it. Now, if you use 2-3 minutes more while using the calculator, that is okay. Ideally, you can solve it fast, but even if you waste some time, if you get the set correct, you will feel very happy. You feel that, okay, I wasted 2-3 minutes, but I got an entire set correct. So in LRDI, I would really recommend you to use the calculator. In quant questions, probably not. In quant questions, especially if it is an MCQ, if you can approximate the calculations to find the answer correctly in a quick manner, try to do that. Chinmay is saying, worried about what if I read slow during the day of examination in VRC. See, again, this comes back to what I was saying earlier. There is not much that you can do about increasing your reading speed now. But you can definitely improve your mental outlook. You can definitely tell your brain that you are going to have a good day on Sunday. Keep telling yourself that. Tell yourself that, देखो, I put in a lot of effort. मैंने काफ़ी mocks लिया है. मैंने काफ़ी effort किया है. In the last 6-7 months, मैंने काफ़ी fight मारा है. or acha hi hoga. On Sunday, I'm going to do well. So that is something that you have to keep telling yourself. You have to keep telling your brain that everything will be all right on the day of the examination. Guys, please do like the stream. I think we have more than 200 people who are watching this stream live, but we have only, I think, 132 likes. I want to get to at least 250 likes before the stream ends. So please do like the stream. Geetika is saying, last moment should we give mocks, or rather should we concentrate on analyzing the previous ones and revision of topics? I would recommend you to stop taking the mocks. Today is Thursday. Today is probably the last day I would want you to take any mocks. Don't take any mocks tomorrow and Saturday for a couple of reasons. One, there is not much that you can do by taking a mock on Friday. Not much. You can't really improve. You take a mock to analyze your areas of weakness and improve. Sometimes you take a mock to just get used to the habit of sitting for 2 hours and thinking for 2 hours. Right now, I think it is too late to do that. It is okay. Whatever mocks you have taken till now are sufficient. That is it. Okay. Because I don't want you to feel tired on the day of the examination. Secondly, if you do poorly tomorrow, and it is likely that on the last day or the day before the examination, because of the nerves, you might not perform optimally. Now that will psychologically have an impact on the day of the examination. You don't want that. So right now it is okay. Whatever mocks you have taken is fine. Right now just focus on revising. Try to do less intensive work and try to just mentally prepare yourself for the examination. Keep telling yourself that Sunday I'm going to do well. Just think positively, think optimistically. Keep telling yourself, keep telling your brain that Sunday will be a good day. I'm going to do well. I put in the effort, I put in the hard work. I'm going to hold my nerves. Everybody will be nervous on Sunday. I will also be nervous, but I'll hold my nerves better. And I'll hold my nerves better than most of my competitors, and I'm going to do well. That is what you have to keep telling yourself and reinforce that positive sentiment. Fatima is saying, sir, I feel exhausted after completing VRs in LRD and I feel this is affecting my quant performance. What can I do? This is something that happens to many people. Basically, after the first section or after the first two sections, the next section, they feel tired. Now, on the day of the examination, I feel that might not impact so much because your adrenaline will kick in. If it is a mock where you know, even if you're doing a serious effort or even if you're putting a serious effort, on some level you know that it is just a mock. You feel that it is fine. I'm tired. I want to do well, but I'm tired, so it's okay. But on the day of the examination, you know that that is the real deal. So your adrenaline will kick in and whatever tiredness you have will automatically decrease because you know that this is the serious examination. Even if I'm tired, I have to give my best. So again, keep telling yourself this. When you are feeling tired, you have to motivate yourself. You have to tell yourself that this is the examination. This is the most important day of the year for me. And I'm going to put in a lot of effort. Psychologically, you have to keep motivating yourself to give your best. And on the day of the examination, I feel that seriousness will kick in, adrenaline will kick in. So you will be much less tired than in an actual mock. Muhammad Sabit Hussain is asking, how much percentile do I need for agriculture MBA? I'm not so sure, but typically if you score around above 80-85 percentile, I think you'll get a shortlist from a good agricultural institute, MBA institute. Shiladitya Brahma is saying, sir, what if you select the wrong LRDI set and lose out on time and then feel lost? What do we do in such time, sir? That is very important question. This happens quite often. This happens to me also. That is the reason I put a lot of emphasis on the first set. Now, things shouldn't go wrong on the first set. If things are going wrong in the first set, then you have to course correct immediately. So to do that, what I do is I look at all the 4 sets in the first glance. So once my LRDI section starts, I mentioned this earlier also in one of the streams. I'm mentioning this again. LRDI for me is the key section. So the last 3-4 minutes of the verbal section, I kind of tune out. I attempt all the questions, at least I try to attempt all the questions in verbal section, and I try to keep the last 3-4 minutes for simple verbal ability questions like say para summaries or odd one out or para jumbles. One of these verbal questions I try to keep for the last 3-4 minutes because they are less intensive. They won't consume a lot of my brain power. And even if I get it wrong, it is okay. That is essentially my feeling for the last 3-4 minutes. And I mentally prepare for the LRDI section which is coming up, which I think is a very key section. So once the LRDI section comes, by that time I'm slightly rested. It won't happen that in the last 2-3 minutes of verbal there is a scramble. If you're attempting a reading comprehension set in the last 3-4 minutes, and if you're trying to put all the questions or if you're trying to read all the options and trying to figure out which is correct, which is wrong, you feel very tired. That adrenaline again will make you immediately have a crash 2-3 minutes later, which is catastrophic if it happens in LRDI. That's why in verbal section itself, I try to ease out towards the end. And once the LRDI section comes, I go through each of the 4 sets and I spend around 30 seconds for each of the set. What do I do in this 30 seconds? I try to figure out what is the set about. Is it a Venn diagram set? Is it an arrangement set? Is it a missing values in the table set? What is the kind of set that is? I try to get that information in the 30 seconds. Secondly, I also look at the first 1-2 questions that are there in the LRDI set. What do I try to observe? Sometimes in LRDI, once you read the question group, once you read the instructions, you can completely solve the set. There are no cases. There is only one case. You'll get the entire arrangement done. And once you have that kind of an arrangement, you can immediately answer all the questions. Those are the kind of sets which I feel are easy. The other type of sets involve a lot of cases. You can only feel that, okay, a particular person is sitting here, but everybody else can sit somewhere. There are some restrictions in place, but essentially you can't solve the set completely. And all the questions will be individual questions. In every question, you are given some additional information. You are told that, okay, if it is given that a particular guy is sitting opposite another guy, then who is sitting somewhere? Now, those kind of questions, those kind of sets, you have to solve each question individually, or there will be multiple cases where the chances of making mistakes are higher. Those kind of questions for you to actually solve will take longer. So this is the information I try to get in the 30 seconds. What is the type of set it is, and is it a set that can be completely solved if I look at the question group itself? That is what I try to figure out in 30 seconds. That is, and I spend the first 2.5 minutes in getting that information about each of the 4 sets. Once I get that information, I make a priority order. I feel that this seems to be the easiest set, then I'll solve this set, then I'll solve the 3rd set, then I'll solve the 4th set. Once I have that priority order, I start answering sets. The first set, I try to pick the easiest set. Most of the cases it works for me because I've already spent some time in analyzing the 4 sets. I try to pick the easiest set and most of the time it works out. But if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, then after the first 4-5 minutes, I leave that set and I go to the next set. This way, at least the first set I answer in most cases in the first 10 to 12 minutes. Then a lot of pressure is gone. Then I know that, okay, I have around 25 to 30 minutes. I need to get at least one more set correct because I feel that if I get 2 LRDI sets correct, it is okay. It won't be a disaster. If I get 3 LRDI sets correct, then it is very good. But if I get 2 LRDI sets correct, it is okay. And if I can get the first set out of the way in the first 10 to 12 minutes, my mind is at peace. Then I feel more confident and I get the next set correct. And the 3rd set also, most of the cases I get it correct. But the first set is very, very important. And this is how I approach it. Guys, we have more than 270 people who are watching this stream live. Please do like the stream. I want to get to at least 300 likes before the stream ends. Tanya Mishra is saying, sir, I have not taken many mocks, so I feel overwhelmed seeing people do at least 20 mocks. Taking mocks is definitely helpful. There is no way to sugarcoat it. People who have taken mocks will definitely be an advantage on the day of the examination. Having said that, there is not much that you can do right now. I don't want you to get worked up about it. I don't want you to feel nervous or overwhelmed because that is not going to help you on the day of the examination. Just motivate yourself that on the day of the examination, I'll give my best and I'll enjoy the experience. I should come out of the examination hall feeling that this is the best I've given, and if I've given my best, this is where I stand. That feeling is very good, where you don't have any regrets. Another way it can go is you come out of the examination hall feeling I have made like say 10 silly mistakes. There were some very easy questions which I missed out on. If I hadn't missed out on, then I would have scored 20 marks more or 30 marks more. That mindset is not something you would want to have after the examination is finished. You should come out of the examination hall feeling I've given my best, and if I give my best, this is where I stand. Shubham Agrawal is saying, how to avoid silly mistakes in quants in time pressure. You make silly mistakes, in my opinion, not because of time pressure. Most of the cases, silly mistakes happen because you feel slightly complacent. What I've observed is that at least the silly mistakes that I commit happen because once I look at a question, in some cases it looks like a difficult question, and I put in some effort and I figure out the way to solve that question. And once I'm solving that question, I've used up my brain power. So I feel that, okay, I've put in effort, now I figured out the logic, now everything else is just mechanical calculations. Once it gets to that stage, I kind of switch off and I just do the mechanical calculations, and there I make mistakes. So that is where I at least try to avoid the silly mistakes by trying not to get mechanical when I'm solving the question. Once the logic is found out, I put in equal amount of effort, equal amount of concentration till I get the final answer. Many times, without even thinking, subconsciously, I try to switch off. That shouldn't happen. Rishabh Yadav is saying, apart from the studies, what to do in these 2 days? I'll tell you what I do. Definitely before Sunday, I'm going to go to a Hanuman Mandir. I feel a lot of peace when I go to temples. So if that is something that works for you, I would definitely recommend you to do it. Go there alone or go there with your friends. Just relax, try to collect your thoughts, try to think positively, and then on the day of the examination, you'll do better. In general, also, I feel that do something that will calm you down. Some people like taking long walks. If that is something you like to do, just take a long walk. Try not to, I don't know, it depends on person to person, but try not to hang out with a lot of people. Try to be with yourself. Try to collect your thoughts, calm yourself down, go on long walks. If you want to go on a long drive, probably go, but you don't want to get too tired also. So just essentially do something that will calm you down, because the last 2-3 days, they will be slightly stressful. You have to be prepared for it. There is not much that you can do, but you be prepared for it and try to reduce that stress. Whatever works for you, do it. I would tell you what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't, for example, go to some pub or bar. You shouldn't drink alcohol, because that will definitely affect you. Try not to eat outside. Don't go to any restaurant. Don't go to any parties. They are not good. This is not the time for it. You can do it next week. You can probably go to a movie. Sometimes people people feel relaxed after they watch a movie, so you can probably do that. Try not to do any intense physical exercise. If you're doing an intense physical exercise, sometimes you fall sick. You don't want to do that. So try not to maybe run 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers. Not now. You can do it next week. Don't get wet in the rain. I don't know if it is raining anywhere. Essentially, you should be very mindful of your health. In the next 3-4 days, you should be mindful of both your physical health as well as your mental health. So try to keep that in mind. I hope that has answered your question. Joydeep Ghosh is saying, please suggest whether we should watch revision videos or practice previous year's question papers in these last 2 days. I would recommend you to watch the revision videos. Definitely watch Saile's revision videos, for the simple reason that the revision videos will ensure that you cover all the topics. So if an easy question comes from any topic that you're not comfortable with also, you will have a shot at answering it. That is the reason I would recommend you to watch the revision videos. Saloni Singh is saying, sir, feeling scared about having the 8:30 AM slot since it is too early. I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to psych you out, but many people, especially people who are taking the examination in the first slot, will not be able to sleep properly. Now, on Saturday, if you're not able to sleep properly, it is okay. If you're able to sleep properly, nothing like it. But even if you're not able to sleep properly because of the stress, especially of the first slot people, because they're worried that it is too early, what will happen if I don't wake up? If you are living with your family, then it is okay. You know that somebody is going to wake me up. But people who are staying in a hostel or people who are staying with their friends, if they feel that, okay, if the alarm doesn't ring or if the alarm rings and I don't wake up, what will happen? So that kind of stress essentially ensures that you don't fall asleep. It is okay. Don't worry about it. Again, your adrenaline will ensure that it won't impact your performance. But if you're not able to fall asleep, even then it is important that you lie on the bed. If you have a book, read a book. Don't strain your eyes. Don't watch any TV. Don't study at that time. That is not the time to study anything. You can read a simple novel and try to fall asleep. Even if you catch 2-3 hours of sleep, that is okay. Okay guys, I'll take a couple of more questions before we end the stream. Please do like the stream, guys. We have close to 300 people who are watching the stream live, but we have only 255 likes. Let us get to 300 likes before the stream ends, and let me answer a couple of questions. Jinesh is saying, sir, I'm getting 12 plus hours of sleep. What shall I do? Yeah. Poison B is saying, sir, after CAT, the time left for ZAT exam, is it enough? We'll be launching a very good crash course for ZAT. We'll launch it immediately after CAT is over. If you're worried about having lesser time to prepare for ZAT, I would recommend you to definitely enroll to the Cracku ZAT crash course. The course is entirely designed and taught by Saile. For people who don't know, Saile is the topper of ZAT for the last 2 years. She came rank 1 in ZAT in the last 2 years. She is extremely good, especially at decision making, DM. So definitely do check out the ZAT crash course. Ashita is saying, sir, are morning slots easier? Not really. The thing is, everything is relative. And in general, I see that people who are in slot 1, they tend to be more nervous. So probably the scores actually are slightly lesser in the morning slot. This is just an observation that I have. So if you are able to hold your nerves better, you will do much better in slot 1. Having said that, guys, please do tune in tomorrow. We will be having a very good stream, very important stream. Tomorrow, both Saili and I, both of us will be there. And it will be a very useful stream for everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any doubts, please do comment below this video.